Behavior. Student behavior is a big deal for teachers. If students don't behave within reasonable rules, norms, and customs for academic environments and studies, teaching and learning quickly become difficult to impossible. Students don't learn as effectively in unsafe, disordered, insecure, and chaotic schools. Students also don't learn as effectively if they cheat their way through instructional programs, shortcutting the earnest striving that learning generally requires. Teachers are not solely responsible for maintaining orderly and honest student behavior. Administrators have significant responsibility to both back up teachers and follow through on discipline. But teachers are plainly at the forefront of managing student behavior and need sound methods for doing so. Make behavior management another one of your premier teaching skills. Codes. You should have significant aid in your management of student behavior from your school's Student Code of Conduct. State laws generally mandate student conduct codes, safety and security codes, zero-tolerance measures, and safe school plans at the K-12 level. Those measures may address everything from drugs, alcohol, and tobacco use on school grounds to fighting, harassment, and intimidation. Especially significant to classroom order, school codes typically also prohibit insubordination, disruption, and disobedience. School norms and customs, and your own classroom rules spelled out in your syllabus, may define those broad terms. State laws may also mandate certain safety and security measures at the higher education level, especially around violence and oppression involving hazing, bullying, weapons, and bomb or other terroristic threats. Federal laws add protections against sexual assault, sexual harassment, stalking, and date rape. You generally hold the legal authority to maintain order in your classroom. You also have the contractual and moral responsibility to do so. Step up to the challenge with the help of your school's administrators. Academics. When dealing with student misbehavior, you should distinguish academic misconduct from behavioral misconduct. Academic misconduct involves some form of cheating or dishonesty, affecting the integrity of the academic work itself. Schools generally maintain separate academic dishonesty, academic misconduct, or honor codes, apart from their student codes of conduct regulating non-academic misbehavior. Your school's honor code may broadly condemn academic dishonesty, leaving its definition to you and your colleagues, and to academic norms and customs. Alternatively, your school's honor code may define specific forms of academic misconduct, such as unauthorized assistance, collaboration, devices or materials on exams or assignments, plagiarism, dual submission or self-plagiarism, alteration of previously scored or graded work, unauthorized access to or distribution of confidential exam materials, and research fabrication or alteration. Know your school's honor code and monitor for cheating, including using whatever electronic tools and procedures your school offers, or mandates for plagiarism and artificial intelligence detection. Cheating. Address any academic cheating that you detect according to your school's honor code. If, for instance, the code assigns you the authority to investigate suspected cheating, determine violations, and impose a penalty short of suspension or expulsion, then do so diligently, following a process that gives the accused student notice of the allegations and an opportunity to respond. Impose a sanction that fits the seriousness of the wrong. The sanction may be anything from a warning and explanation if the student appears to misunderstand the wrong, to an oral or written reprimand, docked score or loss of credit for work, and repeating work or completing extra work. If you are unfamiliar with your school's enforcement norms and practices, then get help from an administrator or colleague. If, instead, the honor code assigns investigation and discipline authority to an administrator, then report the matter promptly and support the process, but don't interfere. Cheating isn't a victimless wrong. It undermines instruction, grading, awards, and credentials, while stealing honor from honest students. Address cheating. Your school's integrity depends on it. Endangerment. Student cheating goes to the core of your teaching duties, affecting student instruction. Student endangerment implicates a different aspect of your duties as a teacher, not the instructional core, but instead your supervisory duties. With younger students especially, a teacher stands in the role of a student's protector, in loco parentis, or as if in the role of a parent. You have the duty to ensure that no one harms students in your care, including preventing one student from harming another. Take immediate responsive action, both protecting students and notifying school officials, if you observe any weapon, ammunition, drugs, alcohol, tobacco, fireworks, other explosive device, pornography, fighting, threats of violence, bullying, hazing, harassment, arson, theft, extortion, interference with fire alarms or fire suppression equipment, or other endangering activity. Let administrators follow the disciplinary procedures, while you support their investigation, procedures, and sanctions as they request. Do not ignore, minimize, or delay your response to any endangering condition. Student safety and welfare, and school order, reputation, and immunity from liability may all depend on your swift and responsible action. Disruption. While cheating scandals and endangering behaviors can rock a school and need your swift and responsible action, your bigger day-to-day challenge may be managing mildly or moderately disruptive student behavior that doesn't cross the line into rank endangerment. Students can act out in degrees. They can also know the lines not to cross, while pushing the envelope on how much they can disrupt your instruction. Some students will test their teachers as far as they can push them before reaching the breaking point. If you teach in a program, and at a level where students are still developing their capacity and willingness to maintain civil, respectful, non-disruptive behavior, then you know the problem. Student development stages and behavioral issues differ widely at different program levels. Young children may need nearly constant behavior management. College and graduate school students may need very little classroom behavior management. In between, in middle school and high school especially, students may need frequent, firm, subtle, and effective behavior management. Hone your behavioral skills. You may need them. Performance. Your first and greatest tool in behavior management is your own performance as an effective instructor. Your organization, clarity, confidence, and constant engagement of students in meaningful instructional activities may minimize the number and frequency of student misbehaviors you face. If students are disrupting your classroom instruction, then examine your instructional presentation, persona, and pace. You may not be engaging students adequately in challenging and meaningful instructional activities. You may also not be projecting the confidence and command of a skilled instructor. You may alternatively not be respecting students or setting for them high expectations, both for their academic engagement and their civil behavior. Up your game and up their game. When you see disruptive behavior, promptly, firmly, and calmly call it out, not condemning the actor, but instead articulating the inappropriate impact of the act. In a brief but firm and clear communication, use the student's name, describe the specific misbehavior, and describe its negative impact. Then move promptly on, as if the misbehavior will not repeat. Develop and deploy a sense of confidence and command, or a rebellious class may figuratively eat you alive. Relationship. A second tool that you have to manage student behavior, beyond your presence, persona, and command, is your relationship with the misbehaving student. Get to know the misbehaving student. Don't immediately embarrass them in front of classmates, if you can avoid it. Instead, quietly arrange for them to stay after class, meet you in your office, or come early to the next class. Show interest in their academic growth, interests, and development. Ask them how you can help them with their studies. Some students misbehave because they do not comprehend their studies. If the misbehaving student has a related disability, get your school's accommodations officer's help in evaluating and supporting the student relative to the misbehavior. Offer the student your support, and then ask them to support you with their civil, non-disruptive behavior. Then, back in class, show them greater respect. Involve them in leadership or service activities in class. Appoint them as a group leader. Call on them for answers and opinions. Assign them to recite, and ask them to help distribute class materials. Give them greater responsibility, not less. Set higher expectations, not lower. And do these things before they repeat any misbehavior. Arrange in advance of class to positively engage the miscreants, alongside other students, from the first moment of class. Once you develop a positive relationship with a misbehaving student, all they may need for a correction may be a glance from you, or you stepping nearer their seat to silently communicate your concern. Strategies. Whether consciously or unconsciously, teachers develop and deploy various strategies, like those named above, to discourage and control student disruption of class. In addition to the things just mentioned above, you might assign students to specific seats, separating disruptive students and putting especially challenging students in front seats nearest you or side seats outside of the direct view of the class. If the classroom furnishings permit it, you might rearrange seating into rows, a circle, groups, or another configuration that reduces opportunities for disruption. You might also reduce the length of your presentations, when students must sit quietly and concentrate, and increase classroom engagement around individual work, paired work, and group work. You might assign the miscreants to separate groups, or pair them with especially well-disciplined students with persuasive personalities. You might also redirect the misbehaving students' energy, such as to assign them the role of recording on a whiteboard points that other students raise, or to briefly undertake some related online research to report the answer to the class. Develop and deploy your behavioral management toolbox.